Over the Easter weekend, I went to Port Arthur and we went to the memorial site where the massacre started on the 28th of April, 1996. I was 19 at the time and I lived in Melbourne with my roommate, and I had a foreboding. It wasn't until my mum rang me later that day that I realised why I was feeling the way that I was. Now, it was a shock to not only any Tasmanian, but it was a shock to the world as well. To be able to gun down 35 people in cold blood on a beautiful Sunday afternoon in Tasmania is something I don't think we'll ever get over. And I certainly feel very torn today about talking about the massacre, because even though it was 28 years ago, it's still very raw for a lot of people. And of course, I haven't been able to have contact with those who experienced any of the trauma that day or lost loved ones. But I did want to share my experience there in case that something was quite relevant that did happen. Now, for me and Mel, we actually had set up the Ouija board the night before up at our hotel where we were staying. Okay, bye. We'll just run it and then we'll be able to I'll edit the shit out of it. Okay. Okay, so we're at the Port Arthur Historic Site Motel. What are you hoping for with our tours tomorrow?
Action. Lots of action.
It's because we actually tried to sneak in and we got caught. So, within like 50 metres we got caught. So anyway, tonight we're going to be taking the Ouija board out to have a talk to someone who wants to talk to us.
We just got to find the right place for it.
Yeah.
And where it's not going to freak everybody out.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll see how that goes. What time is it?
It is 8:37.
8:37. Is there a spirit who would like to talk to us today? I just want to say, yes, I am a clairvoyant and I know that you'll want to use me instead of using the board, but I'd really like you to use the board, please.
And they're probably thinking, what the fuck are they doing up there?
You can use our energy if you like to actually move it a bit faster. Okay. Oh, we've got a little bit like, hello, so nice to meet you. Can we have your initials, please? What's that on? B?
All on B.
This feels so cool when it moves. E.
Bell's going.
Was it the bells? Yeah, it must
heard
be.
bells.
Yeah, I heard bells. But it seemed to be in like a little tune. Is it 16 degrees?
Yeah, I can feel that.
Yeah, it feels colder than that.
Oh, so I'm not the only one shivering then.
No, she's cold. I'm definitely feeling very dizzy though, like I'm on a ship. Because I keep getting the name Robert. So I'm surprised that it's not tried to spell Robert coming through.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting if we see a Robert tomorrow. We'll have to get with a funny foreign name. And although very little happened on the Ouija board that night, I did say to Mel that I felt there was a presence with us called Robert. And Robert told me that his name was very foreign. And so he was a European of some sort. And as it turned out, we didn't realise that he actually potentially had come from the site of the memorial. We were more close to the back of the historic area than we were to that. So we weren't actually thinking at the time anything to do with that, but I did say that he had a moustache or something similar to that, and he was very adamant and happy that we were there. So the next day, when we got down there, it was raining, no coats, of course, because the weather forecast said it was going to be good weather. Lesson learnt. And we went into the memorial site. So if you've never been there, it's behind a beautiful manicured hedge, very high, and you walk down there, and they have the names of those who perished on the day. And also a beautiful reflective area for you to sit around this water. I'd never been in this space before and was, to be honest, a little bit scared about what I might see, because I do get visions as well. And I walked around the old building, which was the cafe at the time, the Broad Arrow Cafe, and I'd never been there previously. And I walked around, and of course my brain's trying to figure out, because I don't know where anything is, because this is just a relic now. And I moved actually further away up into what we would say the east end of the building, and that's where I really felt fear and panic. This is the back of the cafe where the massacre happened in 1996. And although this whole place is quite sad, and this seems to be the spot I'm standing in, there seems to be an awful lot of fear in this energy here. This back window, so I'm wondering if we were in the kitchen area, but there's a lot of fear just in this space. I knew that I was feeling something quite intense. The gunman, he gunned them down in the cafe and all along. And I was lucky enough to have a lady there who had been there when it was built. And she said to me, the area that you're standing, it was actually where they had the books, and it was the shop retail area. So I did a bit of research and found out that he did actually go into that area as well. And he also killed people in that space. So I'm going to be showing you snippets of the bits and pieces that I actually got from talking to the spirits that day. Of course, I was very nervous, but things that I found out were, there was one man in particular. He was speaking about, he wished he'd been braver, and he was revving up. He had that energy like, I want to take the gunman down. And I didn't feel at the time that he had done that. But when I did a little bit of research, I found out that there had been a man that actually had tried to fight him off. And unfortunately, he lost his life. But there was also a man, which could have been him, who was very adamant he wanted me to talk to his son. So either his son had been there or he had a son. So if there's anyone who knows that someone died there who had a son, his message is to let the son know that there is an afterlife and that he is still very present in this son's life as well. Two ladies turned up, but they came in not with their names. They wanted to let me know that they had peace in their hearts. It's a tranquil place. It's eerie because you know what happened there, but it's not eerie because they've made it such a beautiful, kind, caring space. And what these ladies wanted me to know, who had passed over, was that their life had been good. And only that one moment of horror was not going to be what defined their life. I know there's a conspiracy that he couldn't possibly have done it, that one man couldn't have possibly done it. I felt very much that it had been him, or you're probably saying, why aren't I saying his name? Because saying his name gives him power, and I'm not giving him power. I feel very grateful and honored that I have the ability to talk to those who have passed over. Now, you may say, Jo, was it their ghosts or was it residual energy? I honestly can't tell you. All I know is that I get fed information and I get fed pictures as well. So I knew where energies were in there. Unfortunately, I didn't pick up as strongly as I wanted. I think it was because I felt a lot of pressure. There's a lot of people walking around that space. I had Mel right next to me. So please check out the video, see what you think. It's not riveting. So don't get too excited, but I wanted to share my experience with you. And for the spirits that came through, I am completely honored for that. Robert stayed with me for most of the day. He was married, him and his wife lost their life that day. They were both in their 50s. They weren't in the cafe. I found out that they were actually elsewhere when they were killed. Robert was adamant that I knew he was there. Maybe he was an alpha male in real life and he was very dominant, so he wanted to let me know. But I feel very privileged about it, and I love that he came up the night before, way before we were even thinking about going down there. And the fact that he said very clearly, Robert, but my name is European foreign. It's Saltzman, so Solzman. So we've already had a little bit of conversation with Peter. So if there's anyone here who would like to communicate with us, even if you can just move it over to the yes or the no, we'd appreciate to hear your story. There we go. Yes. There's energy right there, so I'm just going to draw the area so that I can remember where it is. So here, there's one window there, one window there, then we've got the fireplace. So they're talking to me about here, that something really right there happened. Okay, so we've got the dark gunman. He's walked in those and gone across this way. So he's come in here and gone down here a little bit. And I think that's where
He's just started.
Yeah. Okay, so now I've got water coming in my eyes, which means that's the emotion of everyone in here.
Oh, look, you could just imagine the screams.
It had been horrific. So we've got a male coming in. He's coming straight up to me. I don't know if he'll give me his name, so he's coming straight this way. He's standing here. He's saying about either a message to a child. So it would make me think like maybe there wasn't a son with him. And so it's like communicate with the son and let the son know that he is still around in spirit. I don't know if this... So did you just say son, did it?
Some.
Oh, some. So I don't know who this man is.
Or could it be Peter?
No, I don't think it's Peter. This is like he's a slim build, but I wouldn't say skinny. And he's very adamant that I say, or at least let his son know that he's in spirit realm. So that would mean that there's been a dad here who didn't have his son here, or his son survived potentially, but he's very stressed about me knowing that. So maybe the son's been going through a little bit of a hard time. And then he's talking about flowers that would have been...
two ladies here.
Two ladies here as well. Yeah, I did feel the two ladies. There's flowers. So, flowers is really... dead people and flowers seems to be a thing, but it might mean a lot to this son, the flower comment. I do feel very peaceful as far as the women are concerned that are coming in. They feel like they've accepted their fate. A woman here she would have had a little bit of a voluptuous build. I'm not saying she was large. She's got very straight hair though. It'd be easier if they gave me some names. There were names coming in. There was an Alice, but I don't think we saw an Alice. And then there was a Michael, but I was thinking the Michael was the son. And there keeps being a J name, so I don't know who the J name is. There's a 12-year-old. So it must have been a kid. This corner here, Mel, something must have been pretty scary in that space, because I can see people hiding down in that corner. So I'll have to do all this investigation afterwards. Okay, interesting, they keep saying October to me, which has got nothing to do with April. So I don't know what October is.
Was that when they built?
This area? I don't know when they built this area. And then I just heard the Jackson 5, so someone loves Michael Jackson or Patience. For some reason they kept showing me that he had this kind of something around his mouth when he came in.
Wasn't there like an article saying that he like painted his face or...
Had he painted his face?
I don't know.
Smile.
I didn't want to die.
Oh.
No, that's understandable.
Didn't want to die. That's sad. Of course she didn't want to die. It's Sunday and you're having something to eat and drink in a beautiful space. Like, it's unforgivable. Molly is coming in too, but I don't know if Molly's got anything to do with the names. I don't think we saw Molly. They're not here. They're not haunting this place. I feel like they're coming and going. So they've come in because we're here, but I don't think they're haunted here. I think a lot of them have just moved on to where they need to go because they don't feel present. If anything, I'd love to know who was up in the
book.
I was just about to say the information centre, like in the bookshop. I was just going to say that something is very important up in that section. I wonder if somebody actually survived in the shop section or that might have a story to tell.
The animals.
I affect the animals.
Oh, they affect the animals. Well, that doesn't surprise me. There's a lot of birds here. Yeah, here's Robert from last night. Robert's arrived.
Hi again, Robert.
And I keep saying biscuits, so that wouldn't surprise me if there'd been biscuits in here, which there would be because it was a cafe. It's like there was more love here than there was tragedy. And so it's like they're holding on to all the joy that they had in their life. Somebody that was here loved to swim. There was a young girl, I think. She loved to swim. And she's talking about autumn or August, so that might be attached to her in some way. She's taking it's like, there was a kid in here taking their shoes on and off. And they probably were being a bit of a pain in the ass. Because, like kids are, pains in asses. So it's like, yeah, shoes on and off. And it's almost like if you could... Believe us?
Yes.
Yes, beautiful. So I feel like, they would do anything just to have that normality again, even if you do have an annoying kid. One of them saying they felt they had doom that day. They had a foreboding energy. They didn't feel right. Dark hair, I think it's a female, a brunette female, who's saying that they had this feeling. And the killer, also gave them the creeps.
But like that article that I read last night, he came in, sat down, had lunch.
Yeah.
Then went back to his car, then came back, and that's when he just...
Shot up the place.
Shot up.
Imagine sitting and watching the people you're going to kill. Like, what's going on in your head? I mean...
Well, this is...
Children.
It was like he was like sussing out the place.
Yeah.
Who was in here, how many people were in here.
Where
and
they're sitting.
How much ammo he needed.
Yeah, which is so calculating and cold, isn't it? Someone said, glad he's behind bars.
Oh.
All I know is that there was nowhere to hide. That was the problem. They were just exposed. And there's an S name, or Susan, or Susan, or... Someone just gave me the most beautiful colour yellow, but I don't know why. Sunflowers, I think it is. Someone just kissed me right on the cheek. That's so sweet.
They're saying thank you.
Yeah, that's never happened before, that I've had someone just kiss me there. I think Robert is still very pissed off, to be honest. If any of them are pissed off, it's Robert. I think it's a masculine energy with Robert.
It's so nice to talk.
So nice to talk to you too, Robert. He's very, I think, angry that he didn't help or didn't do something more.
But in that sort of situation, you don't know how you're going to respond.
Or how do you just,
I mean, even like with you saying charging, like how you would have been just shot dead straight away if you charged.
Yeah. My thinking is, if I was in here with my kids, what the first thing I'd do is throw myself over the children.
Exactly.
And you wouldn't even hesitate.
No.
But if I was at the door, like I am a reactive person, I think I would have went in. Like, because over the years I've done stuff like that where I've just gone at it. Maybe it's because I'm a reactive Scorpio. Like, it's fight before flight with us. I'm all emotional now because it just would have been horrific.
And being a semi-automatic weapon, that can fire so much in such a short period of time.
Yeah.
And that was his plan.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.